I see live on custom live streaming service.
All right, we are live with COVID Marketing, the show to support small biz, not just to survive, but to thrive. Week daily at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions on business, on marketing, or well, whatever, let us know in the comments or wherever you find folk are watching this. I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitguys, a marketing agency here in Toronto, Canada, and I have with me Mr. Arthur.
Howdy, Brent.
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Just some apologies for the technical difficulty on the live streaming service. We're still figuring out this whole Zoom setup and making that happen.
Yep. So 11:11 or sometime.
When we can pull it together.
All right. That'll be our new marketing catchphrase. Live week daily at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time or sometime thereafter. That's actually pretty catchy. I'm good. How about you? It's nice to be back here, actually. This is like such a good part of the day. We need to be doing this, I don't know, every day.
Mm-hmm. Weekends too?
Yeah, sure. Let's just continuously live stream. This is all we do now.
Just all the time.
All the time. It'll be like Big Brother, except in different places.
In the good way, right?
In the good way, yes. All right, Arthur, what do you have for us today?
So we got some questions, and so I know we've been talking a lot about TikTok, but I think this would be a good chance to get back into it.
Yeah.
I was playing around a little bit on the weekend with TikTok, and I put out a video that seems to be getting a pretty good response at the moment. Using a little Phil Collins in there.
Mm-hmm. I saw it. Yep.
And well, first thing I actually wanted to say before getting into the question here, from my experience of playing around with TikTok and trying to figure it out, one of the big discoveries that I had over the weekend is before I was working really hard to create new content. Like I was thinking, I have to come up with these really creative and just new ideas, or there's no point in doing it at all. And I think a lot of business owners and people can relate to that idea. They feel a little bit intimidated by social media because this feeling that they have to be so original and creative. And what I've discovered is it's really a platform for imitating, but not just imitating, but then adding your personal touch on something. So if you follow a bunch of people on TikTok and you see what other people are doing and you see an idea that you like, it's perfectly acceptable to take that idea and then redo it in your own way with your own spin on it.
In fact, it's even better because that's actually where people are like, oh, I like that one. Oh, that's really funny. So what'll happen is people will do a particular kind of, it's almost like a meme. So it is a meme. It's actually taking this concept. The Phil Collins In the Air Tonight's a fantastic one. If anybody's watching, you have to jump onto our TikTok and just see it. You've challenged me, Arthur. I'm going to do the challenge. So you jump in on challenges like that. And at first, just play with it. I agree. Just play with it. You can do the challenge exactly, and then get a little bit creative with it. How does that relate to your business, right? So the In the Air Tonight, maybe you can describe it to us, just so.
So it's a 15-second video, and it's playing from Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight. And for everybody who's familiar with it, it's got a very slow build up in the song, and then there's this like drum solo that just comes out of nowhere.
Like that, right? Oh, that was good one. Yeah.
And so the meme here is that somebody's in the kitchen and they're just, I don't know, they're sweeping the floor or they're washing an apple.
It's a messy kitchen.
It's just something very tame.
Yeah.
And then as the drum solo hits and all the in the kitchen, all the oven door is open and the fridge is open and the cupboards are open, and then the drum solo hits and boom, 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 closing all the cupboards and the door and like cleaning everything up.
Yeah. So if you were to just do that to play on TikTok, then for me, that's a win, right? Because you're getting into it and you really want to just get yourself into each platform to figure out how each platform kind of works. And then as you start doing that, your creativity is going to start to come out. So for instance, if you are a restaurant right now and you're there cooking for for the people to take out and deliver and all that type of stuff, this is a great TikTok to do. And you don't even have to worry about that they're not on TikTok, because you do it, you just share it to your Facebook and your Instagram, and there you go. You're in the restaurant, you got all that kind of stuff, and then it's like the best thing in the world. People are going to be like, oh, that's so original and awesome. And it is awesome.
They're
It
having
doesn't
fun.
necessarily have to be original. It's original within your sector.
Yeah. The thought I had when you said that was I was imagining like a lineup of takeout boxes that were just sitting there open,
Oh,
and then
good.
the drum solo hits, and it's like closing all the takeout boxes.
Yep, absolutely. And so you just start to play with those types of things, right? And yeah, for me, that's what any of these platforms really are. All of them have always really worked when you start to connect things together, especially if you take it and you do add another idea onto it. People actually on TikTok will be like, oh, I like that one too. And when people see a challenge like that or a meme like that, they'll actually swipe. Actually, they'll click on the music thing, and then they'll actually watch all the people that are doing all the different things.
Yeah, with
And
the
the
same
ones
track.
with the same track, and the same kind of concept, not necessarily the same kind of concept, it's just the same track. And then they'll actually start to like, oh, that one was really clever. Oh, that one was a new one. That was super clever. And they'll go through it, and you'll start to gain a little bit of audience, and you'll get a feedback from the TikTok community, what's working, which again, then translates to every other community that you happen to be in
Exactly.
publishing your content.
And I think community is a key word here, because when you're when you're doing a challenge like this, you are taking part in the communal discussion about what's going on here, what's funny, what do we find interesting, and you're a part of it.
Yeah, 100%, totally agree. Okay, you
So
had a question.
We had a question come through on Instagram from the Dreamthany here.
Aha.
It's a big question. Question for you: how has your use of TikTok been for your business? Because I'm still processing its use on a business front.
All right. So from a business perspective, you want to know like the numbers, how many conversions we've had, all that kind of stuff.
How many thousands of sales have we had?
Thousands of sales, or the attention and the reach and the clicks and the hits and the nothing. Well, that's not true. We've certainly had some people look at it. There's two business objectives that this has achieved. And one of them, I'm just going to say, is purely internal. We're having fun. Like, we are literally having fun and creating and enjoying the process. So keep in mind that when you're doing your business, if it's all like, I must do this, 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 and this, I don't really want to do this, 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 and this, but I know that if I do that, I'll get money, and one day I'll be able to go on vacation. Well, I would rather enjoy the process in the moment than anything else. The other thing is, when you're working with attention, marketing, just general awareness, this is not something you like. I mean, we're early on with our TikTok, so this is natural. This is just something that you to the as much of your ability that you can do, weave in your communications with the outside world as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And so you make that as just part of your DNA, just part of the thing you do. Just like I invoice my clients on a regular basis. I do my accounts receivables on a regular basis. I do marketing and content and outreach and awareness on a regular basis. And I'm going to do this consistently for the rest of my freaking business. Mm-hmm. Right? So measuring it, yes, absolutely. You want to see what are the results. For us, it's way too early days anyways, but I would look at it and say, what kind of creativity, and I'm especially on the early days, what am I getting out of it just in the moment? I'm getting some creativity, I'm getting it out there, I'm seeing what works, I mean, that's a big thing about a lot of what we do, especially in the marketing game, is you have to get it out there and see what works. And if it's not working, then it doesn't mean the thing you did was no good, but it might mean the thing you did is no good. So now you have to look at that and say, do I need to maybe put some advertising dollars behind it to see if I had it in front of 10,000 people, would more people respond? Because if you put it in front of 10,000 people, which is really super cheap to do these days, and nobody responds, maybe it is the content. And then you move on to something else. Those things, like getting the no's and the negatives, are really, really super valuable. So that's where I would go to, especially when you're starting off with this sort of thing, is measure it in terms of, one, what you're getting out of it, and two, what you're learning from it, like getting out of it in the moment.
For sure. And I think you hit on a number of really good points there. What I would add is, so we only started our account, I think it's 2-3 weeks ago, right? So it's still a brand new account. And
everybody who's watching should subscribe.
That's right. Subscribe, follow right now.
Yes, go right on TikTok and look for Kobayashi Zeitguys. And if you want to follow me, look for Rock Brains.
There we go.
One word.
We're gonna be huge now. But what I was gonna say is, I think we both see this as a long-term investment, right? We didn't start it 3 weeks ago and we said, all right, by April we need to land 10 clients from this. It's, as you said, it's about in the moment enjoying the process of creativity, but also about seeing, okay, this might be something that a year, 2 years, 5 years from now starts bringing in returns. And on that thought, I think.
So I'll just stop you there for a moment. From my experience, this kind of stuff actually brings returns way, way, way faster if you're willing to get yourself out there. I've seen it time and again where you get yourself out there on a semi-regular, consistent basis, and weird stuff starts to happen.
Agreed.
Not weird stuff, sorry, really logical stuff. People notice you and they say, hey, I want to work with you.
And especially too, if we can use good use of hashtags to really connect with our local community, whether that's Toronto on a bigger scale or getting down to the Danforth Village, beaches, Leslieville, that kind of area, really focusing in there and saying, hey, Danforth Village, we are here and we're doing this.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, just doing something like this where we're creating content, which is actually is useful for small businesses, especially. We're going to repackage this. We're going to sort of chop it out and get something really kind of distilled, and put it as a content in a Facebook feed and Instagram stories, or Instagram, maybe stories, I'm not sure, and boost it. So it's advertising, advertise it, boost it to the local community. And absolutely the TikTok thing is going to get in there. So we'll cut to the TikTok thing. It'll get in there. So you're repurposing that. And there's nothing like showing to your potential clients that you're human. Like it's it's really obvious to say, come work with us. We're going to enjoy working with you. We have energy and we're excited about doing things and we believe in our business and all that kind of stuff. And that's what that kind of communication can give you.
Yeah. It shows that they're fun, they're relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So we're relatable.
I have one more question for you before
Yes. Go for it. One more question.
So I think a big concern a lot of business owners have right now is that, okay, TikTok generally right now is aging down, typically more kind of the 15, 20-year-old demographic. And so a lot of business owners are saying, well, I don't want to invest in TikTok because these aren't my clientele. They're not buying from me. What would you say to that business owner?
Well, just decide how long the game is that you're playing. I've heard it from our esteemed mentor in the sky, Gary Vee, and it's something I've actually observed many times, is every single platform ages up. And I'm sorry, when I go on TikTok, I see a younger generation, and I see a ton of older people doing all sorts of things. I see businesses on there promoting themselves. I see the Toronto Police Force on there doing some amazing job with TikTok. So yeah, sorry, there's just so much attention being given to TikTok now that yes, the marketers are getting on there 100%. And a lot of other businesses are saying, I think I should check this out. It's like, it's prophetic almost, because we've seen it. It's history repeating itself. Let's put it that way. It is 100% history repeating itself. It happened with Snapchat. It happened with Facebook. It happened with Instagram. It happened with Twitter. It happened with all of them. They just started younger and aged up. So, you know, if you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, that's okay. The tactics that we're talking about are the things to do, is like, just get on it and understand it and enjoy it. Use the content for other platforms where your audience is. Do maybe 10% of your time on it, you know, and just don't ignore it. Like, actually, that's where I would go. I say, I mean, just don't ignore it, because the golden age of every platform is closer to the beginning than the middle part, when everybody around you is not ignoring it and you're like, oh, maybe I should take a look at it. Because by that time it's more saturated. You've lost the opportunity to catch eyeballs in a much more cheaper way, and now you start paying for it. It's okay, just you start paying more for it, and it's harder to get the attention.
And that's the point where people start looking back and they say, I wish I started this 2 years ago.
Yes, it's so many. Listen, Arthur, way back in 1995 or 96, I could have bought beer.com. Like, I was literally reading a Wired magazine. I was reading it and they were saying, you know, .com, you know, these things are happening. And I could have gotten Kobayashi.com. I was like, but you know, it's like $75. And, you know, you hear it. I could have created Yahoo. It was not hard to create Yahoo. It was like an HTML page with a directory of websites. It was not difficult to do. All these things happen. It's just, it's a little bit clearer now because we've been through it a few times. So, you know, it is history repeating itself, you know, and so it is worth spending a little bit of time. So just do it. Have fun with it. The brilliant thing about it is it's actually fun. You know, it is creative. It is enjoyable. It is a bit of a time suck if you get sucked into it. So maybe set a timer on the, you know, put a timer on or something to just sort of stop you. Tell your spouse or your children, you know, save me in a half an hour, please. But yeah, get into it.
Yeah, get your children to save you from TikTok.
That's it. Yes. All right.
Love it.
Is that our 15 minutes? We said we promised 15 minutes max. I have no idea when we started.
I think we started at 11:19. So
this is it. All right.
There you go.
So thank you very much. Do we have VIPs on?
Oh, it's a good question.
I always want to say hi to the VIPs.
The VIPs. Let's get this refreshed here.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, we have VIPs that'll come on later on the rewatch.
There's always VIPs.
There's always VIPs. The VIPs are out there. All right, VIPs and all else who are watching this, thank you very much for joining us on COVID Marketing, the show to support small biz, not just to survive, but to thrive. Week daily at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions, let us know. We'll do our best to answer them or just have a wonderful chat about it.
So we do have Patricia.
Yeah.
Please excuse me if I screw up your last name. Dominguez?
Well done.
Is that how I pronounce it? Okay.
I got to say you did it right.
Perfect. Well, Patricia's on the
Actually,
call.
Arthur, Patricia, of course, has a Spanish class. Perhaps if you want to learn how to pronounce her name, you need to join Hola.
Dominguez.
Yes, Dominguez. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, VIP number, I guess she's VIP number 3, 4.
Number 3.
All right. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow.